topic of the discussion and hit the issues you typically find reluctant. Remove the facade to fill the gap with some substance. We undermining problems, expecting to overcome it. Please hold the applause, we doing it for the cause. People follow culture before they follow the laws. We rather face the friction and not attempt it at all. Persistence will find solutions once our contentment dissolves. There's a hard pill to swallow for anyone breathing, both for folks who stay woke and those who be dreaming. We ain't slaves, yet we still ain't experienced freedom. What we need is the keys to access the kingdom. We're all in this fallen world trying to stay intact. I'm just a beggar pointing you out to where the bread is at. So follow the breadcrumbs like Hansel and Gretel. Thank Yogi Bear and the thought engineer for that on Man Talk Monday. It's Man Talk Monday. Woo!
Hey, what's going on, good people? Welcome back to Man Talk Mondays. We are back once again. I am Derek, the thought engineer, here with my man, the legend, the myth, comedian, John Yogi. What's going on with you tonight, man?
You talking about me?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna bring you out like Steve Harvey, baby. Hey, man. You know what I'm saying?
Everything good, man. Everything's good. It's really good, man. Really good. Another Monday in the house, man. I'm looking forward to a great show tonight, man.
Absolutely. We got a great one for you tonight. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you're looking forward to it. Listen, this is a real deal subject we talking about. So we want everybody to tune in, listen carefully. I think we'll have some good stuff for you. But let me just remind everybody real quick. This is Man Talk Mondays. It's an open forum where we deal with the real deal about life, especially around relationships. And we do it from a man's perspective. Now, keep in mind, this is not just for men. We want everybody to join into the conversation. Men, women, boys, and girls, you're welcome. Now, how you talk to us in the conversation, you go in the comment section, leave your comment, leave your question. We can see this, and this is how you communicate with us. But by all means, we want to hear from you. So make sure you get in that comment section and let us know what's on your mind. All right. So we won't prolong the time. We want to make sure we get into this. So ladies and gentlemen, man.
So what I want to get into today is, so I'm in the bed and I get up and I'm feeling this pain in my chest. So I'm thinking perhaps maybe I can sleep it off or it'll just go away. And the longer I lay there, the more intense the pain begins to be. And so at this point, I start having a talk with God. I'm like, hey, I know this ain't no heart attack or nothing like that. Because me and you, we better than that. You would have gave me warnings. You would have gave me signs. You would have gave me something, and we wouldn't be right here. And as I said that, I began to think about all the warnings and the signs he had previously given me. And I thought, Lord, am I going to have to tell my wife that I'm having a heart attack? And the reason why it was so difficult for me to tell her is because your life will never be the same again. You will be forever known as the guy that had the heart attack. So as I look over to my wife and I say, honey, I think I'm having a heart attack, she jumps up. She jumped up like old girl did in the Matrix and paused. And then she turned and looked at me and she was like, you having a heart attack? And she got up and she went like 900 miles an hour running around the room trying to get me dressed because I was sweating, laying in the puddle of sweat, and trying to rush me to the emergency room. And the crazy thing about it, it's like you're having an out-of-body experience because you understand that I'm having a heart attack and you understand that this could kill me. I could die from this. And you start questioning and thinking about your life. You start thinking about, do I have enough medical insurance? Is my wife gonna be okay? Are my kids gonna be okay? And you're thinking all this while there's pounding going on in your chest. So we get to the emergency room and they rush me in and they're like, "What's going on? What's going on?" And I'm like, and this is what Kimmy, they ask you. So on the basis of your pain, is it on a scale from 1 to 10? What is it? It's a 20, okay? It's a 20. And so they get you in and try, and I'm like, and it's still going. So after I get to the emergency room, I'm still having the heart attack. So they look at my wife and they says, "So do you want to kiss him? Because we got to rush him upstairs to see if we can do this procedure on him." And so she kisses me and they rush me upstairs. Literally, they grab me, snatch me up, and rush me upstairs for about 35 to 40 minutes. And my wife doesn't know anything downstairs while they're doing that. My wife doesn't know anything. She don't know if I'm living. She don't know if I'm dying. She don't know if I'm fighting for my life. She don't know what I'm doing. And I want to bring Derek in at that point. Cause Derek, at that point, that was the most, to me and my wife, that 30 to 35 minutes was the most scary part of our lives that we've ever had. Because there was the uncertainty of you don't know whether or not that you're going to live or that you're going to die. And
bro, I can only imagine, bro. I can only imagine. I know on our end, because she sent out a text to us, and we just see this message. You know, I think John thinks having a heart attack, and you know, it's early in the morning. I get up early, so I'm up early, and I see this, and I'm like, what? You know, what's going on? And so I had some things I had to take care of that morning. But of course, you know, I rush. As soon as I'm done, you know, I tell my wife, "Hey, I got to go to the hospital." I wake up. She discombobulated. She's like, "Oh, what is going on?" You know, so because all we have is a text message. And get to the hospital. Long story short, get to the hospital. And he's laying there, but he's still John.
Yeah.
You know, you expect to see the worst because, you know, I watch a lot of, you know, medical shows, Chicago Med and ER. So I'm expecting, you know, one of them scenes. And I walk in and he like, "Hey man, what's up?" I'm like, boy.
you know, so you know, if there is anything funny about it, I could tell from the look on his face that he was expecting the worst. So let me finish the story. So when they get me upstairs and they go in, they going through my arm and they going through my arm and find the where the blockage was, and they fix it. And so after they fixed it, I only had one, so they fixed it, and they get me back downstairs and they get back in the room. So I'm back in the room and I'm like, everything happened so fast, and your mind is really swimming, and you're trying to me, the worst thing about having a heart attack is the mental aspect of it. The physical thing, I know it's really bad, but mentally, man, it was a lot tougher for me mentally than it was physically.
Oh, man.
Because you get back downstairs and my wife, I'm looking at my wife and she's like, "Oh my God, I couldn't imagine doing life without you." I'm thinking the same thing. And and so about this time, I get downstairs and I say, "Honey, have you told anybody?" And she looks at me and she said, "Well, I told everybody." And I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "Okay, so what did you tell them?" She said, "Well, I didn't really know what to tell them because when they had left me, you was running upstairs and I didn't really know." And it was, and she said, I just told them that she was, you know, it was.
Hey man, hey, and brother, we got all the saints praying, everybody praying. I'm like, everybody pray now. We need y'all praying now. Because like I said, all we had was a text message. And at the time, man, you know, you thinking, what? You know, you still kind of what? It's kind of, so man, it's a very traumatic event. And I can only speak to it as a friend. You speaking it from experience. It's a very traumatic event. All of the things that go through your mind, all of the things that, you know, you know,
And,
it's just a lot.
and for me, I know this may sound crazy, I was embarrassed. I'm not going to lie, I was
Oh
embarrassed
wow.
because I had allowed this to happen to me. You know,
Mm.
you think I may not be in the greatest shape, but I'm not in heart attack shape. I'm not in
Wow.
shape to where I could possibly die. Because you're like, what kind of person would let that happen? And so what I immediately start doing is I start joking because I'm trying to bring back normalcy to otherwise really delicate situation. So I want things to be back to normal soon as possible. And everybody to a man, including Derek, is looking at me like, we're not gonna let you
Nah, bro.
minimize this what just happened. Even though the doctor kept coming and telling me, you could have died. Do you know? I'm like, dude, I get it. I get it, but I'm trying to wrap my head around it happening to me because man, in a million years, guys, I wouldn't have never thought this could happen. This would happen to me in a million years. When you see me, you're gonna say, "Well, you're not the healthiest. You the pork chop eating this. You you the wing and eating this. You'd have said all that about me, but you wouldn't have never said that I look like that. That I possibly could die from a heart attack. And see, and that's just the thing. I don't know what that looks like because I thought I
Wow.
knew what that looks like, and I don't
Yeah.
know. And
Yeah.
because I don't know, I thought it was imperative that we share this because, hey, what does that look like? Does that have a look? Because if it doesn't, I want to make sure that we address that so people know.
Well, so with all that being said, we want to talk about tonight serious as a heart attack, because this is a serious thing. Serious as a heart attack is what we're talking about tonight. And so we wanted to bring on some experts, some people who've dedicated their time, their effort, their life to addressing this issue. And so joining us tonight, we have Fred and Tara Robinson. Fred and Tara Robinson joining us tonight. These are the founders of the Black Heart Association. Founders of the Black Heart Association. We're going to give you more details on the Black Heart Association coming up in a minute. But I know y'all heard what John was talking about, and I think Fred, or either Fred or Tara, said, what is heart attack shape? What is that? What is heart attack shape? I think that's a valid question, because like he was saying, you know, in a person's mind, what that looks like, and if you don't have it lined up, that can catch you off guard. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on a second. Y'all done seen people. Don't you act like you ain't got on here and seen people say, that look like a walking heart attack. You gonna tell me you ain't said when you see people walking, that look like a walking heart attack, because I have seen it. And when I see myself, I didn't see that. Because if I had a thought that I looked like a walking heart attack, I would have did something about it. I just said they gonna say that about me, that I look like a walking heart attack. But
so to ask y'all, is this a common misconception?
Thank you for having us on, first of all, and Jen, thank you for sharing your story. It's so much power when we share our stories one to another. But I will say that media has conditioned us to think as Black people that we don't look like a heart attack victim or survivor. We normally see someone that's overweight or an older white gentleman with a pop belly and red face clenching his chest. And we hardly ever see women. So, you know, that's been conditioned over and over, and heart attacks just don't look like that. They look like John. They look like me.
I had a friend of mine, Mike Horn, who I was talking to about. He was like, "Hey man, Black people, we're having a spike in blood pressure," and I had noticed over the last couple of months my blood pressure had been really high. And he word by word went and told me the signs and what's going to happen when you start having a heart attack. I just thank God that when it happened to me, I still was in denial. I still was like, look, wait a minute, it's got to be gas or heartburn. It's got to be something else. It can't be a heart attack. Because again, once it's a heart attack, now you will forever be identified as the person that had a heart attack and you need to be treated as such. Am I wrong, guys?
I honestly think I think there's some validity to that, but I also think it's a lot of
Power in it.
unconscious self-talk.
Hmm.
How I
Okay.
perceive other people's perception of me.
Right. Yeah.
That makes sense. Like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm being looked at as the guy or the female that had the heart attack. So because of a maybe a slight insecurity about how people are perceiving me, it's manifesting versus I may see you and look at you as not the guy that had the heart attack, but the fighter, the survivor, the strong one. You know what I'm saying? So
Wow.
you're looking in two different mirrors, basically.
Okay.
But I do believe there's a little bit of validity to that, but I also feel like sometimes it's just some stuff that we've come up with in our own heads as a result of the episode, as a result of the heart attack.
Afia says we should go to doctors at least every 6 months to a year. We need to check our numbers. And she's absolutely right. So in you all's association, in the research and everything that you've done, how are we, if you had to give especially the Black community a grade on how well we check into this and look into this, what grade would you give the Black community?
Don't ask me.
Don't ask you.
Well, I would say we know that statistics shows that high blood pressure in our community is basically through the roof, just for a number of reasons, for stressors we can control and for stressors we cannot control. Then we talk about eating and lack of exercise and smoking and all those other things add to the increase of blood pressure and a number of other things. And so, you know, I'm never going to be the one to talk down about our community. I just will say that we have some work to do. And if you talk about what a heart attack looks like, a heart attack looks like high blood pressure. It looks like high cholesterol. It looks like being highly stressed. That's what it looks like eating bad, lack of exercise. That's what a heart attack looks like. And if I would say a bunch of us are walking, we look like heart attacks victims or survivors.
I think that's good because now you've stretched it out. You've stretched that definition out. And I think some people can now see themselves and kind of start taking it serious. What were you saying, Fred?
No, I was getting back to the question when you said, how are we? The truth of the matter is, we know we're not, you know, for a number of reasons, we're not being checked. You know, in the Black community, we're not sitting around for the most part having conversations about heart health. You know, for whatever reason, my wife and I always talk about the origin of African Americans in this country has created such a it was a stressful situation, which has created it's created a stressful present for us.
Just a little stressful.
Right.
We you know, if you look at priorities, is medical, you know, our regular medical checkup, is that at the top of our list of priorities, especially if we're not presenting a certain way. If I feel all right, I'm good. I'm going to work.
Yeah. That's the gauge right there. I feel all right. And that's the gauge. Right.
If I could have made the pain stop, I was trying to sleep it off. I kept trying to get in the bed thinking that if I could get to my pillow and my covers, it will make it. If I could get under there, it would make it stop. But it wouldn't let me. Nope.
Yeah,
none of that. It wouldn't.
I think, you know, John, listen to your story. For one, I thank God for his grace.
Yes, indeed.
Because that somebody dies every few seconds from a heart attack. And so another gentleman today said he partied all day today. Partied all day the day he had his heart attack, and he just kept feeling like he needed to belch and it wouldn't happen. And come to find out he was having a heart attack. So, you know, when seconds matter and you made it and God pricked you or pushed you enough where you didn't fall asleep, we thank God for that, because had you made that decision, you wouldn't have woke up from that. And the same thing
Right.
during my third heart attack. Had I went and took a nap, because just like you, John, I was calling it an episode because it was coming and it was going, but I had mine over the course of, I had 3 heart attacks over 3 days. So
Wow.
just,
Oh, wow.
you know, it's a whole lot that goes into it. But like the young lady said earlier, you know, we should be going every 6 months. We should be going frequently, because if we have this choice to make, if we're not going to take care of ourselves as far as lifestyle, then we definitely need to be up under a doctor's care, you know, just trying to maintain best we can.
Let me get Afia's question, and then I want to go back to that because I don't want to just breeze by that. 3
Yes.
heart attacks in 3 days. Let me. Afia says, she says, let me ask, why do men not want to go to the doctor until the very last minute? Are they scared of what they will hear? Yes, absolutely. We're absolutely scared, and that's a crazy thing because we know we're not eating the best. And when you think of the whole concept of comfort food, which we're known for, why would we need food to comfort us? We have placed a lot of weight on food as it pertains to our lives as African Americans in this country. You know, I'm from the country, and when we ate, we ate. You know what I'm saying? Fred is where I'm from, so he knows exactly what I'm talking about. And we called it good eating. We even call it soul food. You know what I'm saying? And so we have this passion for food that tends to run unhealthy for us. I don't know what y'all think about our question. Why we wait till the last minute to go to the doctor?
You
John,
know,
you gonna say something?
well, I'm as much as I want to ask the question why we don't go. We kind of know why we don't go. I want to talk about, and this is totally, I know I'm off the rails. Girl, how many heart attacks you have in a couple of days? I want to talk more.
Yeah,
about,
we gotta get back to that. We definitely gotta get back to that because that is.
You say you had heart attacks in the girl. This was life changing. I had one. I couldn't imagine having them 1 or 2, 3. Or my wife would have me on the carrot diet only. I wouldn't be eating nothing but water and carrots. That'd be it. My life would change so drastically because she would be so scared that I would have another heart attack.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it is scary. It is scary for the person that is watching. And that's why we
Yes.
do 36 seconds, because we want to hear from the person that is actually watching the survivor go through or have lost one.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
that's a topic we normally don't deal with. Heart disease affects
Yeah.
the entire family. It's just not the individual who had it. Back to my story, my symptoms showed up in November of 2013. My neck was my first warning, and my left arm went numb, and we just kind of self-diagnosed as I tweaked it in the gym. Don't start hating. I tweaked it in the gym, or I slept on that left side a little bit long, and then
We'll go with that one.
okay, we're gonna go with that one. And so around Christmas, I noticed that my feet were getting darker, slightly darker. And I was talking to my sister about it. She said, you really need to get to the doctor. Well, I don't miss the doctor, y'all. I'm that person. I'm going to go. If anything is wrong, I'm going. And so in January, I went to the doctor and I expressed to her, the things that I was experiencing. And she said, well, maybe it's just stress. And with my history of childhood trauma and adult, all of that we do to ourselves, I was like, well, I could be stressed. At that time, I was a counselor working with kids with behavior issues. My son was a senior in high school. All these titles as women were superwoman, right? I don't wear that title anymore. But so when I left, talking to my doctor, it was a very lighthearted conversation. She never mentioned heart disease. She never mentioned anything like that because I don't have high blood pressure, cholesterol, or any of those issues.
Wow.
And so I left there thinking, oh, I'm stressed. I need to do something to fix that. And so every time my left arm would go numb or my neck would bother me, we try to do something to try to get that stress off of me because I am an internalizer of stress. So I don't really know. My body has to really show me that I'm stressed out. And so God kept me from January to April. April 10th, I woke up at 2:00 in the morning. I said, babe, something's wrong. My left arm was numb. My neck was bothering me. My chest felt like a pill was stuck, like a big horse pill, and I couldn't swallow it.
Wow.
I felt like I needed to vomit. It felt like somebody was just flickering this light off and on, like something was misfiring inside. I wasn't in pain. And a lot of women are not in pain. A lot of women don't show symptoms at all. And so Frederick asked me, do I need to go to the emergency room? I said, yes, because this is different for me. So we arrived at the emergency room, and how I'm talking to you guys is, I'm fine. I feel fine. I'm explaining to her what I've just been through. You know, they do an EKG and some other tests, and the doctor comes out and says, you know, you're too young to be having a heart attack. And I agreed with him.
Wow.
I am too young. And plus, I'm like John. I don't look like what the heart attack look like. You see
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
You know, so,
Y'all gonna hold it over my head, right?
You put it out there, brother. You put it out there. So
to hear those words, like, no, this can't be. And they say in our community that denial is a big part of why we lose our lives to heart attacks, because we don't believe that it can happen to us. And so we left there. I went to work the next day, and when in my classroom, I fell to my knees because it was happening again. And my assistant goes to get the nurse and calls 911. They do an EKG in my classroom, and I'm fine. Nothing shows up on the EKG. And it becomes my choice of, do I want to go to the doctor or not? And I say, yeah, they don't really know what's going on. If this is an episode, whatever comes and goes. And somebody is hating on me, call Frederick.
mm-hmm.
And then I go to the doctor, and he said, get your tail to that doctor. And so went on to the emergency room. A cardiologist comes out, and I asked her, why am I seeing you? And she said, because of what you described, it's like you had a heart attack. I said, girl, I ain't had no heart attack. I said, but I do want you now, because I do know something is going on, but I was adamant that it was not my heart, because I've never been told I've had any issues with my heart. Mm-hmm. And so they do a troponin test, and mine is slightly elevated. So now me and her are going back and forth, because she's like, I don't have no reason to keep you, but I'm like, I know my body, something is not right. Mm-hmm. And so she says your troponins are slightly elevated. And I said, well, that's enough reason. Please just observe me overnight. And so they keep me overnight, and those troponins come down, and they release me at 11. At 4:00, I'm crawling into our bedroom telling Frederick it's happening again.
Oh, wow.
And
so I'm curious about Frederick.
Feeling like a pill was stuck, hot, upper back pain, jaw numb. I had
I'm sorry. I'm curious about Frederick. At this point, Frederick, what are you thinking?
Right.
I think my wife crazy most of the time. And how do you not disregard because she keeps about that, and not to say that she's crying wolf, nothing like that. But after they keep coming to you with the same thing, how do you not take it as serious as you did the first time she said it? How do you not fall into a level of maybe it's not what we think, maybe it's not as serious as we think it is? How do you not fall into that?
So how did I not fall kind of into her way of thinking, like, what are we going back for?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cause that wasn't gonna be on me.
I got you. Enough said, brother. Enough said.
However we come out of this thing, it ain't gonna be on me.
Yeah. Good.
So if it comes down to what do I want to do, we go home.
Let's go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Because even her, she said, she said it's happening, it's worse. Just help me to the bed, let me lay down.
Oh wow. Sound familiar. Right.
I told you don't get to die on me. Not today.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We got this black SS Impala out here. We ain't even calling 911. We finna see what she can do.
Yes, sir. Open her up.
That was my wife. That was my wife as well.
We need to stop and get about $5 worth of gas. So I had a decision to make. Do I run out of gas trying to get there, or do I just trust God, stop, get enough gas to get where we're going? And so that was the decision we made. And it's crazy because I'm weaving in and out of traffic. She's in the middle of a heart attack. And she over there's like, you gonna kill me before we get there. I'm gonna get you there. I'm gonna get you there. So it was never a question of what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. What she was talking about, that was so irrelevant. Look, come on, let me put these shoes on you so we can do what we need to do. I don't care if we have to keep going back and they keep telling us they don't know what it is. They're gonna keep telling us because I know it's out of my hands. So, let's do what's right.
Yeah. But let me remind everybody, if you liking the conversation, if you feel like this is something somebody else needs to hear, please go ahead and share this out to your friends, your family, especially, people that who might not. Now you know what a heart attack might not look like. You just share it out to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So we want everybody to understand.
That's a shirt.
Because
that's a shirt.
Right. We gotta wear something. One thing we gotta put on here is like the warning signs for the people who had this preconceived notion that TV is put out there so that they don't get caught off guard. What are some warning signs that people can kind of watch out for? I put it to Tara. Tara, what are some warning signs that you know of?
So I know for men and women, we, just like we think different, our bodies are totally different. So for women, we can be asymptomatic. We don't show anything. It can be your left arm going numb, your right arm going numb. It can be your upper back in pain. It can be your jaw feeling numb. It can be feeling like pressure in your chest or something being stuck or like you need to burp. I've heard women say, I was burping a whole bunch and come to find out I was having a heart attack. You can be hot, clammy. So I would say to you, anything that does not feel right, not everything is a heart attack, but anything that does not feel right, you need to be getting checked anyway. For men, they have the textbook symptoms of the left arm going numb. Sweating is a big one for men that we hear about all the time. Chest tightening. And John might can add some more to that. For men, I've heard men say, what was the one guy that just told us? Oh, it could be both arms. It just, if you don't feel right, your body. I tell people, your body better than anybody else.
Yes.
That's what you stand on. When you go to that emergency room, do not let them send you home if you don't feel yourself.
To your point, the older we get, and I think people, when I say old, I want y'all to understand, when you get past 40, your body talks to you differently than it did prior to being 40. And I know I hadn't been feeling right. I knew my wife, she gonna kill me, but she was wanting to have relations, and I was not feeling my best. And one thing I didn't want to do, I didn't want to go in there if I couldn't put my best effort forward.
You're right. She gonna kill you, but just go ahead. Yeah, give him the full screen.
But nevertheless, guys, I went in there and I gave it all hee ho. And the judges gave me a 8.5. I did my crip walk dance. And man, after I got through, I felt really lightheaded. I felt like the engine had blew a rod. I feel like, I knew my body was telling me something is wrong.
Right.
Something is really wrong. And I tried to ignore it. You know how your engine light come on, you try to ignore it? No.
It's one thing when your check engine light come on, but when your engine starts smoking, it's probably pretty bad. So you want to check it out. But let me get Monique's question. Monique had a question for Tara. Tara, she says, Tara, did you feel discounted due to being a woman or being Black? I can't believe you had to go 3 times for this. God had you covered.
Yes, he did. That's a great question. Yes, I think God, and you know, I don't want people to take this the wrong way, but looking back, I really think that everything I experienced was because I'm still here to help other women, other men go through this process. And there is nothing that I did not experience that somebody would be facing as it relates to heart disease. We deal with women. We have to be very mindful that even Black men, and I love my Black men, so don't take this wrong, but if we can just have a very, just transparent conversation, they will ignore what we say is bothering us. And that's in the hospital system. That's a very real situation for us, being ignored when we say we're in pain as women, no matter what color skin you have. But then you add the extra layer of being a Black woman, and now we got a real problem. The odds are stacked against us in most situations. And going through the emergency room, they say it's like a crap shot if you get a good doctor or not. So yes, I do feel like even with the cardiologist seeing me and me having to argue, the last thing that we need to do, anybody going through a crisis and going through the emergency room, is have to advocate for yourself. That should be the least worries, but that's what we're looking at every day. Just a Black woman wearing a heart monitor not too long ago was sent home, and we had to refer her to another hospital, and she was having heart attacks. So, yeah, it's a real issue. So be mindful, and that's why Black Heart exists, so that we can get in front of it instead of we want to be proactive instead of reactive. We want you to know where you stand so that you can get the help that you need, and it doesn't catch you off guard, and you end up in the hands of somebody that does not care for you because you're a woman or because of the color of your skin.
That's a whole nother piece that I didn't really consider, just the advocacy piece, advocating for people in those situations. That is huge, because you have people who, I'm not saying they're uneducated, but when it comes to medical things, they're ignorant. They didn't study this, and you're trusting a person who has a title to know certain things and to treat you a certain way. But like you said, it's a crapshoot. You don't know who you're gonna get, and man, it's a scary thought. So having somebody, like I said, the advocacy piece, having somebody to advocate for you, I think that is huge. That is huge. Let me get Facebook user says, Tara, what medical test should a person request during a hospital visit to know it was indeed a heart attack?
So let me tell you, with the odds being, it gets real interesting. So I tell people all the time, if you feel like it's something going on with your heart, or even if you might, just any slight inkling that it might be your heart, go in there and say, I think I've had a heart attack, and watch you get every single test that they have for you. You're going to get your stress test, you're going to get your EKGs, you're going to get your blood drawn. They're going to do everything when you go in there and say, I think I've had a heart attack. Do not go around there and say, I went in there and said, my left arm is numb, my neck. I never said, I think I'm having a heart attack. I probably would have got an overnight visit at that point. But because of what they look for, the EKG doesn't show all the time, especially for women. So what they are looking for, they've been, taught to look for. And because I was young, they went against all of that and sent me home twice. So this is what, stand up for yourself and know just stand on the fact that you know your body. And if not, pick up the phone and call us. We'll come up and we'll advocate.
Wow. That's good to know. Monique says, I'm advocating for my mother right now. A woman, she's Black and now older. So she understands where you're coming from. Ifia says, I've definitely had to advocate for myself to get certain blood work done because the doctor didn't feel I needed it, but I told him to give it to me anyway, and he did. So this is, man, we got to make sure people get the word out about Black Heart Association, because this is huge. This is huge. Like I said, we wait till it hits close to home, but we can't wait until it gets there.
Guess what? It's already hit close to home, because how many of us know somebody with high blood pressure? How many of us know somebody with cholesterol issues? How many of us know somebody that's stressed out? It's already hit home. They're just not using those words, heart disease, because if you have high blood pressure over a number of years, that's going to possibly lead to heart failure. So it's already here.
You know, the interesting thing, let me get Mika's comment. Mika says, speak on it. I've been told that we have to advocate for ourselves in all medical situations, especially heart-related issues in birth. We had a urologist on a few months ago, episode we call Limb Conversations, the expert edition. And we were talking about ED. And he said ED is a precursor for heart failure.
He sure did. He did, didn't he? He did.
He said, so all my fellas out there, and Fred, I need you to step up, brother, because you the health expert, you the fitness guy, you know what I'm saying? But he said this, he says, if you're having problems there, he said, because the blood vessels down there are just slightly smaller than the ones that are in the heart, going to the heart. Mm-hmm. So if you're having that problem, you need to go get checked out because you probably have problems in your heart area as well. So when he said that, I mean, the guys that were listening, all ears at that point. Yeah. But he said men don't do a good job of keeping up with their health and knowing what's the best thing for them. They don't talk to their doctors and all this type of stuff. But you being the guy that's going to get them right. Because I don't know if everybody knows he's a certified health and fitness coach and everything. He's a personal trainer. What are the struggles you see with getting people in that frame of mind to where they will go ahead and do the work to get healthy?
I think you just hit it, like getting people in that frame of mind. The physical aspect is just a byproduct of changing people's way of thinking, changing people's way of how they approach quote unquote healthy lifestyle. So it kind of, the biggest piece is what's your why, getting people to a place to where they can say, hey, this is what I need to do, but more importantly, this is why I need to do it. Because if that piece is big enough, this piece will take care of itself. And if that piece isn't big enough, then we just spitting in the wind over here. So just having conversations, people first. I'm talking to a person first, not a client, not a dollar, but an individual who, and this person matters. So let's get to the heart of it. Let's figure out what it is that's driving you, whether that be the loss of a loved one, whether that be you've gotten some bad numbers from your doctor. At the end of the day, it's about living, not just existing, living.
Yeah.
So how do we get to the point of living versus just existing? Because let's be real about it. Our society has placed us in an ideal world of let's get more out of less. So we move less, we eat more, we party more. This is a sedentary society that we live in, if we can just be real about it. So, let's really look at it for what it is, and let's face it head on. And, just starting with small steps. Don't come to me with body goals and all that stuff. Come to me with goals, realistic goals about how you can be the best person you can be, not just physically, but, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, because all of that stuff, when you're talking about healthy,
right?
It's all encompassing. It's a multifaceted situation here. The weights and all of that, that's just a part of it.
I have a question. I got a good friend of mine told me that also going to the dentist is just as important on your heart as anything else, which is crazy because the dentist is high. If you think that the doctor high, you need to go to the dentist. The dentist is high, and when he told me, like, hey man, I went to this, I had to get this and this, and I know when I went to the dentist, they have a printout of stuff, and you'd be like, and then they want to bring this old pretty girl in there to talk to you about money. Honey, you can send her right on back and bring the doctor in here. All this money you talk about, you lost your mind. So I'm just asking.
Yes, it plays an important part. We have to get our teeth clean. We have to look. Everything flows through the heart. If you have cancer, you need to see a cardiologist. If you have HIV, you need to see a cardiologist. If you have bad teeth, you need to see the dentist, or you're gonna be seeing a cardiologist. So you know, everything flows. Everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny too, because my doctor asked me, which I don't know why, but he asked me if I had HIV. And I was like, you got the wrong number. You got the wrong number and the wrong person.
Right.
How did my heart, I was trying to figure out how did my heart have anything to do with HIV, but you just mentioned it. That's because they normally all that's in the, not here, but in other places, it's in the, you know.
If a good way to look at it as it relates to heart disease, if we think about the body and we think about automobiles, cars were designed, if you think about it, behind the body. The heart, I mean, you got exhaustion, you got electricity, you got all of these things, you got fuel, which is our food. So they really run parallel, and the heart is that main, it's the engine. So if you think about a car, you could have something going on with something so far away from the engine, but if it goes unattended long enough, that thing gonna work its way.
Yes,
you're gonna blow a head gasket. You're gonna have your thermostat gonna start sticking. It's gonna get to the engine.
Right.
Something that people may deem as unrelated, and wondering how did this way over here mess this up. And the body is the same way. All of our organs and all of that stuff, they're their own components, but they all work together. And if something's going on somewhere, it's just a matter of time.
No, you're absolutely right. And it's kind of disheartening when you look at it, because I'm just thinking about just my family. It wasn't customary. It wasn't something that we did to go to the doctor to get checked out. We went to the emergency room because that meant something was going on. But preventative stuff, we didn't. We were just happy to get through the day.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are still stuck in that just get through the day. We're in survival mode, and we think we can't afford to check on this, can't afford to check on that. But I'm trying to remember the quote. They said prevention costs less than what you're gonna pay on the back end. So we got to put it in perspective for people. Let me see. Facebook user, I don't know who this person is. It said, I had to advocate to get a mammogram because my doctor said that it was nothing wrong because he didn't feel a mass. However, sent me anyway, and the mammogram detected a mass. So like you were saying, your body, when things are off. So you gotta just speak up. And I think we give people with that title, we give them too much power. When we trust them too much, you got to trust yourself too, and really trust God, because God could be saying, hey, something ain't right here. I'm trying to tell you, something ain't right.
But to that point, D, he also gives us warnings.
Yes.
I'm not gonna sit here and say that he didn't give me warnings before I had my episode, because I had warnings, but I was like, this ain't no warning. I know a warning, and this ain't one. Well, then I had another one. This ain't no warning. I ain't looking because this ain't no warning. This ain't no warning. And then when you're in the floor sweating profusely, you say, oh, maybe those was warnings.
Right.
I'm so serious, but because there are always warnings, and you have to always listen to your body. As we get older, anything over 35, as we get older, listen to your body, because your body will talk to you. Your body will tell you something.
And heart attacks can show up a year ahead of time.
You said what now?
Heart
a
attacks
whole year?
can show up a year ahead of time.
Oh wow, a whole year.
A whole year. So wait.
Because you talk about fatigue. That's a big symptom that we often ignore.
Wow.
And fatigue is usually the first one. You're not moving the way you should. You start kind of dragging a little bit, and we ignore that one because I started calling myself lazy, but I think fatigue was actually my first symptom that showed up way before the other.
Oh my goodness.
Showed up. So that's a big one that we ignore, especially as women.
Listen, Man Talk Monday gonna get y'all to the doctor. Y'all better go to the doctor. I want everybody to make an appointment tomorrow. We're gonna have the Make an Appointment Challenge for Man Talk Monday. The Make an Appointment Challenge and go get checked out.
Now, that's a challenge that I would jump on board with.
Man.
And we have a Black Doctor Locator page. We find any doctor, whatever zip code you're in, just post it on Black Doctor Locator, and we'll find a doctor based on whatever kind of doctor you're looking for you.
The locator is on your website?
It's on Facebook.
It's on Facebook. Okay.
We need to do that, Dave. We need to do it. We need to make that happen. We need that. That's something we need to do, man. Real talk.
Yeah. Make an appointment challenge. Listen, it is too much that happens in life. And I think we get so distracted by everything else. We never take into account the effect it's having on us physically. And, Fred, you just talked about the mental aspect, but it's all connected. The mental, the physical, it's all connected. And if we don't really pay attention, like I said, you could be one nap or one going to bed away from not waking up.
Hey, don't you play with my nap now. Hey, whoa. Don't you play with my nap now.
I don't know. I think he was coming for us on that.
But no, I mean, just think about the fatigue. People say, oh, you gonna die tired, because we program that way. We don't even know what healthy feels like, and so bad feels so normal. We feel like we're fine.
You just said something, because you hear people say, "I'll sleep when I die."
Yeah.
No, well, you're gonna be sleeping.
Yeah.
Because you need 7 to 9 hours of rest, and if you're not getting that because you're hustling or you're grinding,
oh wow,
God will never give us our purpose to. It's our purpose is not here to do harm to us. If we're co-workers with the kingdom, if we truly trust Him, we're gonna rest, we're gonna go to bed and get that 7 to 9 hours. We're gonna do what we need to do to actually walk this thing called life out according to His will. We can't do any of that. We can't be impactful to anyone if we don't take care of ourselves.
Let me get Monica's question. She says, how can a person such as myself who had a stroke, now disabled, stay heart healthy when I really can't exercise? Before the stroke, I was 362. Now I'm 200, but I still see 362.
God bless you. God bless you. It's a number of things. I'll let Frederick.
Oh, hey, Monica. It's been a minute. That's his sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my sister.
Well, I look at it like this. It's a two-part situation: the movement and the nutritional side of it. So, and the emotional and mental piece of it too. So, if I know one of those areas, for whatever reason, there's some difficulties there for me to address that area as much as I would like to, then for the lack of a better term, I'm gonna bang them other ones out. If I can't move as much as I want, my nutrition is not gonna be an issue for me.
Yeah.
Examples of that.
So I'm gonna let her speak on the nutritional piece. She, y'all bear with my wife. She in this class, man, and she been beating me over the head with.
Oh, okay.
I'm studying lifestyle medicine, guys. So it's
okay. Nice. Okay.
We always hear people say, "Well, I don't want to take medicine." Well, you're gonna have to make a choice. Either you're gonna change your lifestyle, or you're gonna be on the medicine. Or if it's genetic, you're gonna have to do both. So what I would say to you, Monica, is first, make sure you're focusing on your vitamin E, vitamin C, and
beta carotene.
Yes. And Monica, if you could just walk around the house. I mean, I don't know what the extent of your disability is, but just walking around the house, taking those small steps, or just walking from the bed to the bathroom. I don't know, but get moving, because sitting is as dangerous as smoking a cigarette.
Yes.
To our heart health.
Yes.
We got to get up and we got to at least walk if we can. And then secondly, I would say yoga, meditation, believe it or not, that turns around disease as well, because
I got this. So,
go ahead.
so we have these things called telomeres, right?
Yes, we do.
And think of them in terms of length. The longer, the better, as far as fighting disease and keeping us healthy.
Mhm.
And yoga has actually been shown to lengthen our telomeres, right?
Or in Monica's case, if you can't do yoga, meditation will do.
Yeah.
That's a great challenge to help to lengthen our telomeres.
Lengthen your telomeres challenge.
Yes. Meditate.
Lengthen your telomeres challenge.
Meditate for 8 weeks at 12 minutes, and that can help as well, help you stay heart healthy. So a combination of moving as much as you can, then eating those things, and then meditation to help keep the stress down will help.
Wow. Listen, this is great information. Listen, y'all got to go visit blackheartassociation.org. You want to go to the website. The thing I like is you've taken something that happened to you and you've thrown passion and purpose into it. And now it's about helping people. And I think God is doing something great with you too. And I'm praying nothing but success for you guys in reaching people. So absolutely, we come down to the end and we want to go ahead and get your final thoughts. So Fred and Tara, your final thoughts.
My final thoughts. John, for one, I'm so grateful that God decided to keep you here with us. Prevention over treatment is key. I'm going to dedicate this to my brother-in-law, Stephen, who dropped dead in front of my niece and nephew from a hypertensive heart attack. That's a high blood pressure heart attack. His son was on his way to be a freshman, and his daughter a senior in high school, and his other daughter graduating from TSU. So with that staying on your mind, my final thought is this. If you don't do it for yourself, do it for your family, because they need you here. Be here. That's my new hashtag going into 2023. Be here. Be here healthy. Be here well. Be here enjoying life without disease. Be here.
My final thoughts. For I know the plans that I have for you, it is to prosper you and not to harm you. God has created each and every one of us. He's given us a precious, precious opportunity to do this thing called life. Mm-hmm. And he wants to see us do it in abundance, and not just financially, but emotionally, relationship wise. He wants us to experience heaven on earth.
Yeah.
And, a lot of our choices can kind of dictate whether we experience heaven or hell. So if we can keep that in the forefront of our minds each and every day, I want to experience heaven. And that'll guide a lot of our behaviors and a lot of our decision makings, which will bring us so much peace and so much joy and so much happiness. So just know that we matter to each other. We love each other, and we want you to be here.
We want you to be here.
We want you to be here.
And make sure to visit Black Heart Association. Book the bus. Wherever our people are, that's where we want to be. Everything we offer is absolutely free. There's no need to not have insurance. We can get you covered with insurance. We can get you set up with a mental health professional. We take a whole body approach to care. So connect with us and support us in our efforts.
Thought is I am happy to be here as well. Y'all just don't know. If you ain't never been happy to see somebody, I am happy to be seeing me, because for a few moments I wasn't sure if that was going to necessarily be the case. So before you're in my situation, let's take care of ourselves, guys. Like Tara said, be here. I want you guys to be here. So let's start. Let's go to the doctor. Go to the doctor and go to the dentist. I know they both are expensive, but they should have some type of layaway or some plan. They should have something. Let's get rid of excuses why we're not going to the doctor and the dentist. Let's go to the doctor. And that's my final thought.
This has been a crazy couple of weeks. We've gone through so much mentally. When you have friends and you have family, like Tara said, you want them to be here. And we take life for granted, but life is way too precious to not take seriously. And I know a lot gets in your way and we make all kinds of excuses for ourselves, but there is no excuse. Excuses won't save your life. But taking life serious, you could lengthen your life. The difference in bad things happening to you and happening for you is how you deal with it. You could have a bad event that happens to you, but what determines whether it was bad for you? If you can get up from it and learn from it and grow from it, it may have been a bad thing that happened, but it wasn't a bad thing because you learned what you needed to learn. Let's not overlook or discount the lessons that God is trying to get to us. Let's take life serious and go and manage life. Show God that appreciation. Show him you appreciate the life he's given you by taking care of yourself and the ones that's close to you. Because one thing's for sure, we need to be here. And that's my King Speaks for this week. Listen, Linda. Listen, this was great information. We want everybody to go and visit blackheartassociation.org. Real quick, they know about the website. Tell them about the bus and the gala. Tell them about what you guys have coming up here real soon.
So if you want to know where we're at, you're always welcome to come by an event. It doesn't have to be your event. So every weekend we're somewhere in the DFW area providing our services for free. We say we want to be from anywhere from the hood to the boardroom is where you'll find us, and that's serious. So go to Black Heart Association. You can see all the places we'll be and what time we'll be there. We're usually there for 2 to 4 hours, depending on where we're at. We have our first inaugural dinner coming up in February 18th at 6 p.m. Please come and support us right now. Early bird tickets are on sale. All your money goes back to support Black Heart Association or another nonprofit doing boots on the ground work.
We need to go. We need to go.
Yeah.
We need to go.
Yes, come, please.
Yeah.
Please,
We're gonna show up.
Because y'all, it's some stories coming off the bus. We've had men that haven't been to the doctor in 40 years.
Oh, wow.
And we're getting them there. We're getting people insured. We just had another gentleman call us. He was driving from Houston to home. He had a heart, he's going into congestive heart failure. A 15-year-old just recently because we screened him.
Yeah, we screened down to 12 years old.
We screened down to 12 years old.
And this was an athlete.
Yeah, he can no longer play football because come to find out after we screened him, his mother took our advice.
Oh, wow.
Took that information to a doctor and he had a heart condition. So what we're doing matters. And
you're right.
I know we have great nonprofits, big shiny things, but this is boots on the ground hitting us right at the heart of the matter. We need to know where we stand as it relates to heart disease. And this is a conversation we have to continue to have.
Yes, y'all make sure you support. Make sure you support. As far as we go, we push back our live recording for the barbershop recording that we're going to do. That's going to happen now on the 19th. We're going to do that on the 19th. So be looking for that video that'll be coming up. The conversation cuts and conversations which we'll have coming up real soon. Anything else I'm missing, man? You can think of?
Bro, I'm just glad to be sitting here in the chair. But because we take life for granted sometimes.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm just glad to be sitting there. So whatever announcement coming, I'm trying to be at everything. I want to be at the gala. I want to be at the barbershop. I just want to be I want to be. I want to be
here.
Y'all.
Be here. You're right. You want to be here. All right.
I want to be at the barbershop talk too.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Okay. Hey man, we'll get you to come through.
Yes, we get
Yeah, we get you to come through. Listen, everybody, we want to thank everybody that jumped on tonight to have the conversation with us. Thank you for your questions, just all of your input. We want to thank the Robinsons again for being here, being our guests, giving us all this great information. Listen, don't forget, subscribe to our podcast. It's available Apple, Google, Spotify, all the major podcast platforms. You can find the audio version. You can also find the video on YouTube and Facebook. Also, you can catch us on BS3 TV on Roku, right? We're on TV, right? So catch us on Roku at the BS3 TV channel on Roku. We part of the BS3 network of podcasts. So you can find past episodes. You can find this episode and a whole lot of other great episodes that will give you some great information as well. You can also catch us on your computer. We have a direct web link. It's bs3tvlive.com. Right? You can catch us on your computer, bs3tvlive.com. Just make sure you go and check us out. Check out the BS3 family. A lot of great podcasts, a lot of great information, entertainment, education, just the whole nine. So make sure you go and check us out. Listen, thank y'all once again. We're going to get out of here and we'll see y'all next week. Peace out, y'all.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.